Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Dick Norris Buick GMC in sunny Palm Harbor, Florida, because guess what? We have a very, very special Corvette for you. This is a 2018 Corvette Grand Sport, but what makes this extra special is that it's a convertible. It's got all the options, all the bells and whistles, plus it's a 7-speed manual transmission. But before we get into this Corvette, let's talk a little bit about Corvette history. Corvette first appeared all the way back in 1953. They only made 300 of them, and I hope you like white with red interior, because that was the only color you could get. 53 and 54 are unique because they were only available with a straight 6, an inline 6 known as the Blue Flame 6, and an automatic transmission. 1955 is where things would get big, and there's a name in Corvette history that really came to the forefront: Zora Arkus Duntov. This gentleman was the man that really engineered putting the small block V8 with a true manual transmission in the Corvette, and the rest is history. Now, we are on to the 8th generation of the Corvette. First generation went from 1953 all the way to 62, and then the second generation, which is important for this particular Corvette, went from 63 to 67. Now, the reason why it's important, that's the first time that the name Stingray was attached to a Corvette, which, remember, it came back for the C7 generation in 2014. Another thing to be aware of is Grand Sport. What is that? What is that referring to? There was a very special operation behind the scenes at Chevrolet that Zora Arkus Duntov was running to get a few special race cars out the back door to race teams so that they could go up against those pesky 427 Cobras. One person in particular who actually won a race in a Grand Sport was Roger Penske. Yes, that Roger Penske, who now owns Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Penske Racing. Lots of wins with his team, lots of championships. Now, Grand Sport was not attached to a production Corvette until 1996, if you could believe that. That was the last year of the C4, the 4th generation of the Corvette, which went from 84 to 96, and it was a limited number, specially limited number of Corvettes, and the only way you could get it was blue with a white racing stripe. Now, when it comes to C6, that's when the Grand Sport name came back. There was no limitation on numbers, and it carried over into the C7. So let's go ahead, dive into the C7 Grand Sport, see what makes it different, see what makes it unique, and see why this is still a performance standout that you should probably park in your garage. Right off the bat, C7, that was unique styling from 2014 to 2019. Now we're up to C8 with the mid-engine Corvette. So this is the last of the front engine. Love the headlight design, full LED on that interior. Headlight, daytime running lamp, and turn signals. This being fully optioned is gonna have that splitter that goes across the lower section. That's gonna give us downforce, stop air from going underneath the car, and it looks drop dead sexy. Plus, with the Grand Sport, you actually have the same bodywork as the Z06 Corvette. Nice flared out fender, and because this one is fully optioned, it's all in that nice metallic, dark gray color. It almost looks black. Works so well with the sinister black on this Corvette. Now, as we come across the front, you have gloss black on the front grille area. You see that massive front splitter. Talk about heritage. Any Corvette you look at, even going back to 1953, you got the cross flags, your checkered flag, because this is America's true sports car, and the Chevrolet bow tie flag, of course. But going up onto that hood, all hoods from C1 to C7 are reverse opening. You have a massive heat extractor that's gonna help drag hot air out, plus it also acts as an aerodynamic aid for channeling air. I love all the folds and ridges of the C7 Corvette. Really looks like a Stingray. If you're wondering, well, Joe, 2014 was the return of the Stingray name. When was the last year? 1976 was the last year that Stingray was on a Corvette until 2014. Wheel and tire setup. So this being a Grand Sport, you can see the nice flared fender, that Z06 bodywork, that whole nose is Z06. You have chrome wheels, very popular with Corvette owners. It's a 19-inch wheel, 285 on the width, 30 series sidewall. Look at that atomic fireball red Brembo caliper with the Corvette script. It's gonna clamp down on that 2-piece rotor. The reason why we're using a 2-piece rotor is to help dissipate heat, and it also helps with cooling of the brakes and lighter rotating mass. You got it slotted and fully ventilated, gonna give us maximum braking capability, because not just about going fast and straight line a Corvette, Corvettes can handle and brake as well. Going into the fender treatment, one iconic symbol of the Corvette is that fender vent. This is functional. Now, the way to tell that it's a Corvette Grand Sport is that it actually says Grand Sport on it. The difference, though, is that this vent is unique to the Grand Sport. Even if I took away the name, you should know that this is a Grand Sport, because on the Z06, it's a totally different side vent, but I like the way they put the Grand Sport name. Really fits in well with the body lines. You have that lower side sill extension, goes all the way back. Now, here's a little fun tip. You see how the sill kind of tapers back near the opening of the door? They did that on purpose, and it's not for aerodynamics. It's so when you open up the door, you don't keep kicking this. If they left it the same width, you'd kick the heck out of that. Think about your wife with some heels. That doesn't sound fun to me. Now, as we come back, being a convertible, nice speedster look. I love the tonneau cover that they use for the convertible top, especially the way that it cascades into the interior between the passenger and the driver's seat with those cross flags. Also, another thing that's really nice is that there's no exterior door handles. You actually have a button that you push right here that pops the door open. Lower side scoops, that's gonna help channel air for not only braking, but also for that transaxle. Remember, this has a transmission in the back, and then wheel and tire setup. You're still gonna have out back a two-piece rotor. Tires are 335, so that's 335 on the width. Still that same nice, this is actually a 25 series sidewall, because this is a 20-inch wheel. So 19-inch wheels up front, 20-inch wheels out back. The reason why they do that is for steering. Plus, you're gonna get two-piece rotors and a 4-piston Brembo caliper back there. As we get to the rear, being fully optioned, this is that massive trunk lid kick-up spoiler, very aggressive, gonna give us downforce. You have the iconic 4 taillights. Now remember, for so many years they were round. 2014, they went to this design. It's funny because now the C8, they even move further away from this. So I actually accept this finally after all this time as that quad taillight look. You have full functional vents, both top and bottom, massive rear diffuser, and then of course, being fully optioned, you have that active exhaust. We can make this exhaust louder if you want to piss off the neighbors, or you can make it quieter if you really want to keep the peace. But out back, Corvette badging, full chrome, all 4 corners on this thing, really looks sick. Let's go ahead, pop that hood and see what's powering it. All right guys, time to open up the hood. This is something you can't do on your C8. You're gonna have to pop that engine hatch. But remember, we have that reverse opening hood, nice and light. There she is. What you're looking at is a 6.2 liter V8 engine, naturally aspirated. So 460 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. You could either have it mated to a 7-speed manual like ours, or an 8-speed automatic 0 to 60 in about 3.6 seconds. Now, yes, you can find faster cars, especially the C8 being a faster car, but one thing that you're not gonna find is a new front engine Corvette. And here with this 2018, the second of the last year, underneath the hood, I am gonna zonk that engine cover. This is plastic. Show off the intake plenum. Bring back those sexy intake plenums from the 1990s and the early 2000s. But what I do like is how clean everything is underneath the hood. And you can see on the back side of the hood that beautiful Grand Sport logo with the cross flags there, that functional heat extractor, really doing the business. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this V8, pushrod V8, and see what it sounds like. All right guys, business time in this Corvette Grand Sport. Now this being the fully optioned, you're gonna get all the bells and whistles, really in a wonderful package. Now right now there's no price yet, but check out the website because they will have the price marked to the door panels. This is really where Chevrolet was turning up the wick for bringing a better quality interior. I love the nice white contrast stitching, simple silver on the door handle. This has the Bose sound system, and that button on the door handle is actually to pop it open. You do have a small pocket there for your race winning Twinkies. What I do love about the Corvette, I'm sure many of you will, is the very low side sill to get in and out, plus that Grand Sport logo looks really great. The dash, very far forward, all the stitch work. Now you do have AC controls for the passenger and ventilated and heated seat controls for the passenger. Everything else is for the driver. I love the way it's all driver focused, great view out over the hood. You do have your James Bond screen here where you could have some secret storage. Maybe you have your silver spoons, your family's silver spoons you don't want anybody to find. Put them in here. You lock it up. Nobody's going to get to it. You do have your start-stop button, which I wish they would have went with a nice, round, bright red one. So I am going to zonk that. But you have your 8-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. This does have the performance data recorder as well, and navigation, of course. Real easy to get to the buttons. You have your dual climate control, heated seats, ventilated seats, your AC controls. I like the little Grand Sport badging that they put in here. Open this guy up. There's your 12 volt. You're gonna wanna run a radar detector in this car or you will lose your license, I promise you that. Open this up, 2 simple cup holders. If this is my Corvette, there's no way in hell you're drinking anything in here or eating any race-winning Twinkies. You'll have to save that for at home. Here's really the goodness though. That slick shifting 7-speed manual transmission. Love the feel of it. Very, very short throws. The stitch work is great. Your passenger has an oh crap handle as they crap themselves as you're rowing through that 7-speed. You have your mode selector. So this is gonna allow you to go through different modes. Sport, track, snow, ice. Nice, good placement. I like the nice silver trim here. Everything else is flat black, which you're not gonna get fingerprints is great. It's a little hard on the armrest, but I do love the stitching. You open it up, you're not gonna be able to fit a Twinkie in there. If you do, it's gonna squirt cream everywhere, but you do have 2 USB and another 12 volt. You could probably take some Twizzlers in there. Race-winning Twizzlers, that's better in a Corvette, at least my Corvette. Seats look great. You got the cross flag logo. The stitch work is nice. The bolstering is enough, but it's not too crazy. So you could go with a competition seat, which this one does not have, but I think most people will like these seats better for daily driving or for just cruising around town because the bolstering is not too intense. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Corvette Grand Sport. All right, guys, business time. You do have your power seat controls for the driver's side over here. Steering wheel, flat bottom, like the thickness. The only thing is it doesn't feel special enough. I wish they would have put the Grand Sport logo here. It is, though, electric, tilting, and telescoping. Now, I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, there's paddles on the back of the steering wheel. What is that for? This is a manual. These are actually the paddles that are off the automatic transmission Corvettes, but this allows you to shut off or turn on the automatic rev match downshifting. Because we have 3 pedals, when you're downshifting, you should heel-toe downshift. If you don't know how to do it, this Corvette will do it for you. And then, of course, that drop-dead sexy dash there. You have an analog speedometer, which is a little redundant because you have full digital display there in the center, the speedometer, the tachometer, you have a coolant gauge and a fuel gauge, but everything is well sorted out. Plus, you'll be able to get through the different modes very, very easily. This does have a heads-up display with a tach, speedometer, and gear indicator. And then, of course, you have your pedals down there. Nice sized dead pedal, plenty of room. If you've driven a Viper, if you've driven a Ferrari, you do have a lot more room in the footbox compared to those models. Plus, you have 2 memory settings for the driver's seat. But enough of this. Let's go ahead. Let's take this Corvette. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take it for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Dick Norris Buick GMC. Let me put the windows up. We're in the Corvette Grand Sport. Now, one thing a lot of you should know is that this is the first time that we're in a C7 Corvette with the manual, because you can't get a manual in the C8. Here we go, 3rd gear, let her rip. Love how balanced this chassis is, and that's why personally I really like the Grand Sport. I think with the look of the Z06 and with having the balanced chassis with just enough horsepower, I think 650 horsepower, it's gonna be very hard to use. Whereas with this Corvette Grand Sport, it's gonna be much smoother. The power comes in very, very low on the torque curve and really is a nice balanced package just all together. You can hear that automatic Rev match downshifting, very smooth. They do a great job with it. As you can see here in Florida and on Rady's Rides, it's never a dull moment. We got cars everywhere. We're going in this right-hand bend here, downshift in the second. Feeling good, good feedback from the wheel. Rolling on throttle, being careful. People just stopping, here we go. Nice, you know, it's one of those things that you would think in a Corvette people would automatically see you, but we have just people rolling out of nowhere. So never a dull moment on Rady's Rides, but you'll notice in the C7, if you've been in, say, a C4 or a C5 or even a C6, the 7th generation, they really brought up the level of fit and finish and the interior materials and everything, so that's really good. But pulling away from the light, clutch has a pretty good pickup point. Super smooth though, that's what I love about this thing. It's such super smooth power delivery. That head-up display has all the information you could ever want or need. Back on throttle, here we go. Short the throws are with the transmission. That really makes it so engaging to go from one gate to the other, and you don't have to worry about missing a shift in this C7 Grand Sport Corvette. Just listen to downshift. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. V8 power, naturally aspirated, good old push. Like, you would think push rod technology would have been long gone, but it's great to see the Chevrolet engineers keep pushing forward with that technology. Now, the dash is great to look at. I'm gonna zonk the analog gauges. I really feel like you don't even need them because of all that information that is in the center display. The top of the windshield, it's a little hard to see the stoplight, but nothing too bad because it is a convertible. But if you want your top-down fun and you want a V8 powered sports car, this, like I said, is America's true sports car. All right, guys, pulling away from the light, first gear, in a second, here we go, on throttle. Yeah, feeling good. Really great feedback to the wheel, and just something about being in an old, now I'm calling this old school Corvette because it's the front engine. Something about a front engine Corvette that just makes it so unique, and it's so sad to see that it's over with the C8. And I know the C8 is faster, I get it. But it's about, to me, for me, it's all about the experience. You got people flying out in front of us. This is great, great experience. But it's all about that driving experience. Let's go ahead and see how she feels over this bumps here. But into third, down into second, feeling good. Brake pedal feels great. Rolling on throttle as we go uphill in second gear. Here we go. All right, guys, once again, second gear on throttle. Nice. I'm telling you, feels amazing. The brakes really slow it down very quickly. Very good pedal feedback, which is awesome. That's what you want. Nice pop from the exhaust. I have it in sport mode if you were wondering. Not putting it in track, but I have it in sport mode. On throttle. Really just a great performing car. Great performing car. Wow. It's amazing. It really, really is. All right, guys, second gear going in this bend. Third, nice. Here we go. Feeling really good. Good feedback coming to the wheel. Brakes are phenomenal. I'm telling you, if you think you need more braking power, I don't know what the heck you're driving. You might be driving an 18-wheeler or something, but this Corvette stops on a dime and gives everybody change. Now remember, that whole first generation of the Corvette were all convertibles. So it's kind of nice to be in a convertible Corvette, have that drop top down fun with a V8 underneath the hood. That's really how it's meant to be. All right, guys, on throttle, here we go, second gear, third. Yeah! So stable. The car, you look down at the speedometer, you're like, I'm going that fast? The car is so stable. It's just really special to drive, and to know that this is it. This is the last generation of the front engine Corvette. I mean, this is it. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to Dick Norris Buick GMC, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another amazing day here at Dick Norris Buick GMC. Definitely gotta thank Melvin, Adam, Andrew, Derek, the rest of the crew here, so accommodating to get this C7 Grand Sport Corvette on Rady's Rides, especially with that manual transmission. You saw the drive, you were there with me. It was an amazing experience. So glad to bring it to you. And this is why, to me, this will always be the final year of the true Corvette, no matter how fast the C8 Corvette will get. But if it's cars like these that you want to see on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He's flexing his muscles in this Corvette. He's loving it. Thank you, Tom, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.